Our next presenter is my lovely wife, Jessica Vierra. Now, Jessica has a passion in assisting individuals reverse or even prevent disease with medical nutrition therapy. She first received her degree as a nurse and later on received her master's in nutrition and dietetics from Bastyr University. She enjoys assisting individuals in learning how they could better their health with nutritious food, and she loves helping individuals and seeing their lives changed with every bite. Jessica, we look forward to having you share and educate us today on the importance of assisting our bodies with nutritious food.
I, the Lord of sea and sky, I have heard my people cry, all who dwell in dark and sin, my hand will save.
I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send?
Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my
I, the Lord of snow and rain, I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away.
I will break their hearts of stone. Give them hearts for love alone. I will speak my word to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord?
Hey everyone, I'm so excited to share with you guys today this presentation called Supercharge Your Immune System. And first off, I wanted to let you guys know that we serve a loving God who created our immune system, who knit our bodies inside our mother's wombs. And a lot of people don't believe that God cares about them or hears their prayers or really loves them, but how deep the Father's love is for us, we will never know. There's a quote from this wonderful, inspirational woman, Ellen White, who says we'll be spending eternity comprehending the depth of the Father's love for us. So that's really some deep love. So does God care about our physical health? Well, yes, the Bible is clear about this. Jesus actually spent more time healing people than he did preaching. There's a verse in Matthew 4:23. Jesus went through Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and sickness among the people. And in another verse in the New Testament says, Beloved, I pray that you may prosper in all things and be in health just as your soul prospers. Why is our health so important to God? Well, friends, we believe that our bodies are a vessel for the Holy Spirit to dwell in us. It says in 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, whom you have from God? And you are not your own, for you were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. And therefore, whatever you do, eat or drink, do all to the glory of God. In Revelation, we know that we are to give glory to God, not only by what we eat or drink, but because he is the creator, he made heaven and earth. And it's very clear in that the people of God will be giving glory to him when the hour of his judgment has come. And friends, we're so looking forward to heaven and being together eternally and being there at the throne of God and with Jesus. And it says in Revelation 21, verse 4, God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, no more sorrow, no more crying. I know so many people have been affected during this pandemic. We've seen reports of high suicide rates and many, many elderly deaths from COVID-19. And a lot of fear out there. People are really scared and fearful even of what is to come because of the reports this fall. And they're fearful of getting COVID and dying or seeing their loved ones die. But friends, we have such a hope that we will have eternity. So this world will seem like a little blip in time when we are there with Jesus, when he comes back and takes us to heaven. We will not have any more pain, any more death, no more sorrow, no more crying. And because we won't have any death in heaven, we will not be killing in heaven. We will not be killing animals in heaven. And we believe that the first diet that God gave us in the Bible was a plant-based diet. And he wanted us to take care of the animals and to not slaughter them for food. In the Garden of Eden, it was every fruit from the trees around them, except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, that we could partake from and eat. And we are so excited that we will get to eat the abundant, rich, thriving, nutritious fruit and food and vegetables, grains, whole plant foods in heaven when we get there. And we believe that now is the perfect time to practice these healthy habits with a plant-based diet, because we will be used to this in eternity. If there's no more death, I'm sorry, but there will be no barbecue. There won't be any bacon or pork chops or hamburgers. But guess what? They have these types of foods in plant-based forms, so I don't know if we'll be able to make a beetroot burger in heaven, but who knows. Out of the plant-based foods, though, there are some extremely healthy, immune-boosting foods that I am so excited to share with you guys about. And I give this presentation in hospitals and in churches. And Daniel and I have recently started giving this presentation together, entitled Super Immunity, or foods that are really based on boosting your immune system and things to eat daily and regularly, to make them part of your regular diet. So a good acronym to remember this is G-BOMBs. And Dr. Joel Fuhrman coined this term, and we were so blessed. I was so grateful to be able to meet him not long ago and actually do a little bit of training in his office with one of his colleagues a few years ago as a dietitian. So G-BOMBs stands for greens, beans, onions, mushrooms, berries, and seeds. And Dr. Fuhrman believes this is the nutritarian diet, or the most nutrient-dense diet on the planet. Greens. What about greens? Greens are some of the most nutrient-dense foods on the planet. They have a high amount of micronutrients per calorie, and they're just full of vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, antioxidants, and on a scale of 0 to 100, they are definitely 100. Kale, red leaf lettuce, green leaf lettuce, romaine, collard greens, Swiss chard, spinach, even Brussels sprouts are considered a leafy green. They help to protect blood vessels, lower risk of diabetes. They are definitely well studied in improving people's weight, and they can theoretically be eaten in unlimited quantities. A lot of leafy greens, especially the dark ones, have carotenoids. These are specific antioxidant pigments like lutein, zeaxanthin, and alpha-carotene. In fact, there's an amazing study found in the Archives of Internal Medicine. 15,000 participants tracked their sickness and deaths, and they found that those with increased levels of alpha-carotene in their blood levels were associated with decreased risk of death from all causes. One of the best ways you can eat your leafy greens is in a salad, and you can certainly cook them too. You may lose a few of those important nutrients, but they're still important to eat in your diet. And 2 servings of leafy greens per day is recommended. 1 cup raw and ½ cup cooked. Those are the serving sizes. And cruciferous vegetables, I wanted to mention about cruciferous vegetables because some of them are green leafy vegetables like bok choy and cabbage and Brussels sprouts, Napa cabbage too. These are very potent cancer-fighting foods. You should eat at least 1 serving a day. That's what Dr. Michael Greger says. And you should have that undercooked or eat them al dente. And one of the best ways to eat cruciferous vegetables is to make sure you're chewing them really well, either blending or chopping them, because there are chemical reactions that happen when you break the cell walls down. And when you eat these foods, these glucosinolates, they convert to isothiocyanates, which we will call ITCs. These are compounds with a variety of potent anti-cancer effects. These ITCs activate glutathione S transferase, which enhances detox reactions, and they also boost the immune system by increasing interferon responsiveness. So that kind of stimulates the immune system to attack viruses, and they increase They increase the immune system's cell-killing ability and heighten resistance to viral infections with impressive results. Okay, so how much should you eat of these? Well, Dr. Michael Greger says eat a serving a day. Dr. Joel Fuhrman says to eat more than that. You can overdose, but that's extremely rare if you eat over 2 pounds, because they can cause goiter-like issues if you have iodine insufficiency and hypothyroid issues and you're taking thyroid medications. So if you're taking thyroid medications, often your doctor will tell you to take that before a meal. So that shouldn't be a problem because the medication's not binding with the food at that meal time. Hopefully it's already passed through. But just keep that in mind. And of course, always consult with your provider if you're concerned about this. But broccoli sprouts, I wanted to specifically mention broccoli sprouts because these are probably one of the top foods to consume, especially coming into the fall season with greater increase colds and flus and other illnesses that we're fighting and worrying about. Broccoli sprouts have 20 to 100 times more glucosinolates than found in a head of broccoli. Okay, so just like a fourth cup or maybe a few tablespoons, a pinch that you can put on your burrito bowls or in salads or on sandwiches. These are truly impressive superfoods. Nutritionists who have recommended their patients eating these foods as part of their regular diet have found their patients or clients to improve in their energy, lessen chronic fatigue, definitely keep them healthier longer, and even preventing viral illnesses. A nutritionist that I follow, graduated from Baxter University also, he likes to take these on when he's traveling on a plane and actually snack on some of them. And they grow, you can grow them in your own kitchen, and you can also buy them in the store too. In fact, I've seen them in Sprouts Farmers Markets, Whole Foods, even Rayleigh's. Recently I saw Rayleigh's Rayleigh's had some broccoli sprouts there. So I wanted to demonstrate to you how to make broccoli sprouts. So you'll want a sprouting jar, and you can find these mason jars in stores or online, and get sprouting lids online too. They're pretty easy to find, and I liked having a stainless steel sprouting lid. I know there are plastic ones which should be fine too. So you want to start with a couple tablespoons of broccoli sprouts, so you can see that there. And then you want to cover them in water and let that sit for 8 to 10 hours. And then when it's done, you want to drain that off. And this is my pretend sink. And then you're going to just leave it upside down so it's not sitting in water. So you want to leave it upside down in a bowl or a tray with a large lip on it like that. And you're going to be rinsing it twice a day. So this is called rinsing. You just pour some water in it, swish it around, and then drain off the excess water, and then set it back in your bowl or Tupperware there to let it drain off. And then you're going to do this twice a day, morning and evening. You want to store it upside down and in a dark, cool environment. And it should be ready in 5 to 7 days. You'll start to see these tiny little sprouts grow. And you can get so excited because, hey, you have little baby plants growing right in your cupboard. After 3 days or so, when you start to see the light yellow leaf come out of the sprout, then you can set them near a window to let them green up, or when you're getting closer to using them. And you'll want to store these in a refrigerator when they have fully sprouted, like this. So after 5 to 7 days, your broccoli sprouts will start to look like this. So I'm going to set this down now. And I wanted to point out an interesting thing I picked up on. Cruciferous vegetables have this flower that's shaped like a cross. So I truly believe that we serve a good God who gives us these beautiful signs in nature that reflect His glory and also His healing powers, and points to probably the more life-saving type of foods to eat, I guess. I don't know. But the flower of cruciferous vegetables is shaped like a cross, and you can see in the pictures there how similar those look like. And we know that we're only saved by the blood of Jesus who died on the cross. And I just think that's kind of a neat parallel between the cruciferous flower and the cross that is a symbol of salvation. The next superfood I want to mention is beans. So beans are an awesome food for people who have diabetes. It can help with lowering cholesterol because of that fiber. It helps bind to the cholesterol and sweep it out of the gut. It's great for diabetes because it is a low glycemic carbohydrate, and it has a lot of resistant starches and protein in it. And the after effects, when beans are digested, they do not cause any major ups or downs in blood sugar spikes. So they're really a very healthy food for having diabetes. And in fact, another dietitian that I know who works specifically with diabetes patients encourages her patients to eat a cup of whole beans a day. Yes, they are immune boosting because those fibers and resistant starches can turn into fatty acids, which in turn helps to prevent cancer, especially colon cancer, but other types of cancer too. Eating beans, peas, or lentils at least twice a week has been found to decrease colon cancer risk by 50%. So that's really significant. The next superfood I wanted to mention, or family of superfoods, onions and garlic. Onions and garlic. So this is part of the allium family of vegetables. They have cardiovascular benefits, they're immune system boosters. They are great for having when you have diabetes too, and of course anti-cancer effects. They are known to have antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal effects too. So these are very potent foods, and when you eat these foods, when you eat onions or garlic, the cell walls are chopped in. Let me back up here. I'm gonna take a drink of water. Okay. When you eat onions or garlic, no, let me start over. Wow, I'm so dry. So they have antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal effects too. And I think that's really important to note, especially since we're in a pandemic, a viral pandemic. So definitely eating raw and cooked onions together is important. And why is that? Because the enzyme alliinase can be affected by heat. Same with cruciferous vegetables. So it's a good idea to try to have some raw or at least undercooked when you're consuming these kinds of superfoods. And because those chemical reactions, the enzyme that's kind of in between the two ends of the reactions, that is heat sensitive. The phytochemical compounds are not so much heat sensitive, but it helps to convert one compound into a powerful immune boosting, cancer fighting, virus fighting compound. So it's definitely a good idea to have some raw with some cooked if you do mostly all cooked, or at least make sure you undercook these kinds of foods. Onions and garlic are also full of flavonoid antioxidants and quercetin, which helps get zinc into your cells, and zinc is very antiviral. They slow tumor development, they suppress growth and proliferation of cancer cells, and in fact enhance cancer cell death or apoptosis of cancer cells. And red onions are a step up from some of the other onions because they have anthocyanins. There are 25 different types of anthocyanins actually, which are very much full of antioxidant effects and cancer fighting. So it's a good idea to consume these foods regularly. About 1/4 to 1/2 cup is a serving. Mushrooms are really amazing foods. In fact, turkey tail mushroom has been studied and used as an adjunctive cancer therapy, especially for breast cancer. In fact, the researcher who brought about all this wonderful information on turkey tail extract used it with his own mother, who developed, I think, stage 4 breast cancer. And there's a TED Talk out there on this, so it's really quite amazing. She is cancer-free now. And definitely, they believe, attributed to the turkey tail mushroom extract. Mushrooms enhance immune cell activity by causing programmed cell death or of abnormal cells. They also signal, they also release signals or antigen binding lectins that help detect abnormal cells and kind of tag them so that they can go down the laundry chute or the garbage chute and get destroyed. They help reduce inflammation, they prevent DNA damage, and they inhibit angiogenesis. Now, angiogenesis is a complicated process of where a tumor sends out these different signals to nearby blood vessels, and the signals are encouraging those blood vessels to grow new blood vessels or capillaries to attach to the tumor and give it a blood supply or feed it nutrition. So then the tumor grows, and then metastases can happen after that. So angiogenesis is absolutely a beneficial good thing when you're growing a baby inside of you, or your wound is healing up because you want new tissue connections and blood vessel growth and cell growth happening there. But for abnormal purposes, abnormal cell growth, no, you don't want that. So these superfoods are really important in inhibiting the abnormal angiogenesis, but not interfering with the beneficial angiogenesis, like when you're growing a baby or healing from a wound. Okay, so what types of mushrooms are high in all these properties, especially these cancer-fighting properties? White mushrooms, just the simple, cheap white button mushrooms, cremini, portobello, oyster, shiitake, maitake, or reishi mushrooms. Those are really high in these cancer-fighting properties, especially breast cancer. And it's a good idea to consume mushrooms regularly. About a fourth to a half cup can be a serving, like a fourth cup cooked or dried mushrooms, and then to a half cup, which might be a lot. But hey, you could probably eat that amount on a pizza, maybe, or in a stir fry. And I do want to encourage you not to eat so many raw mushrooms, because there's a toxin that is killed off when you cook it. It's called carnitine. So that can be neutralized during the cooking process, just a few minutes of cooking. So it shouldn't be a problem. The next superfood I wanted to mention is berries. Berries are amazing. We should always be eating berries all the time. They're some of the best superfoods. They are low glycemic, so they're low in sugars that affect diabetes, and they're high in micronutrients. Now, some people who have diabetes still notice that their blood sugar can get high with eating berries. Certainly, yes, fruits are full of carbohydrate sugars, and you certainly may not respond too well to low glycemic fruits, because even those fruits can still raise your blood sugars. But for most people, they are low glycemic and they don't significantly raise the blood sugar. Should they still be eaten if you have diabetes? Yes, I would definitely choose that, like a small cup of berries over a piece of cake or refined carbohydrates as a dessert choice. Because even when you have diabetes, you can eat carbohydrates, okay? You don't need to necessarily go on a zero carb diet or a low carb diet, because there are some risk factors involved with that. But berries are full of antioxidants, flavonoids, antioxidant vitamins. They are one of the highest antioxidant food sources in existence. They protect the heart, they have anti-cancer effects, they can help reduce blood pressure, reduce inflammation, prevent DNA damage, even have been shown to improve DNA damage right there in the cell. They can inhibit abnormal tumor growth, which is that angiogenesis thing in the blood vessel growth to those tumor cells, and they can help stimulate the body's own antioxidant properties and enzymes. Berries can help reduce the risk of diabetes and cancers, and special attention to decreasing risk of cognitive decline. So I want to mention blueberries are especially an excellent food to improve brain health. And there's been significant studies showing that they can help reverse early onset dementia or even prevent those things. So the antioxidants in blueberries in particular can really flood to the brain and assist the brain in fighting those free radicals and the inflammatory process that happens. Blueberries are also an excellent food for kidney health and for those with kidney issues or renal failure issues that have diabetes as well. Because they're lower glycemic, they're also low in potassium, and that's one of those minerals to watch out for when you're having kidney problems. And they are probably one of the top foods to have that I would, as a dietitian, I would definitely recommend. You'd want to definitely consume these daily, and a half cup at least. Dr. Michael Greger suggests that in his app Daily Dozen. The last superfood I wanted to mention are seeds. Seeds are very beneficial. They're high in protein and healthy fats like omega-3 fats. They include a wide spectrum of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. They have cardiovascular benefits, blood pressure, cholesterol. They can help with weight maintenance, even though they have a lot of calories from fat, especially the tree nuts. Peanuts, it's not like they have a negative effect on our health, but they don't have as impressive effects as tree nuts do. But tree nuts like almonds, pecans, walnuts, so nuts and seeds, but seeds especially too, because seeds are even richer in trace minerals. But these foods are excellent for even trying to lose weight, is what I'm trying to say too. They're great for diabetes prevention. Pumpkin seeds are rich in iron and calcium, great source of zinc. Sesame seeds are one of the foods highest in calcium and vitamin E. And having these healthy fats increase those fat-soluble vitamins, D, E, K, and A. Flax, chia, and hemp seeds are extremely rich sources of omega-3s. In fact, flaxseed consumption protects against heart disease, and they contain lignans, which have these powerful beneficial anti-cancer effects. In fact, there is a really impressive study, a double-blind, placebo-controlled randomized trial, if I said that right, on breast cancer patients. So these are patients who have active breast cancer, and they put them into two groups. One group had bran muffins with flax seeds, and then the other group had bran muffins without flax seeds. And the group that had the bran muffin with the flax seeds showed cancer cells that were starting to regress and die off, and significantly compared to the other group. So the flax seeds were actively fighting the cancer, and was really impressive compared to the group that just had the bran muffins without flax seeds. So whenever you make your bran muffin, make sure you make them with some flax seeds. So those were the superfoods G-bombs. And now I wanted to share with you some ideas what to do if you feel that you are getting sick. Definitely it's best to rest. Go straight to bed, even if that means skipping dinner. Drink plenty of water. Staying hydrated is important. And some health medical doctors actually encourage, or health-minded medical doctors actually encourage avoiding cooked foods, especially fried foods, foods that are really heavy and full of fats and oils, especially refined fats. And we don't hear about that too much. We talk a lot about refined carbohydrates, but we don't hear a lot about refined oils. And in fact, if you're someone who loves texture in food like Daniel and myself, get an air fryer if you want to crisp up certain ingredients in your cooking instead of deep frying, or water saute like I mentioned or demonstrated that in the food demo at the beginning of this health crusade. And avoid sugar, okay? Definitely skip the dessert. There are some studies out there that show that the immune system is suppressed 4 to 8 hours after eating a serving of dessert when you're having high amounts of sugar, and especially the refined fat that goes into a lot of desserts. Refined carbohydrates like, I know you won't be so happy with me, but cereal, oh man, a lot of people, that's their number one breakfast food. Try to break that habit, okay? Because those are refined carbohydrates, and a lot of those cereals are high in added sugars or frosted, even brown rice syrup. I mean, even the healthy ones, they'll be high in refined carbohydrate sugars. So that's not probably the best breakfast food I'd recommend. Trying a whole grain would be a better choice, or something with whole carbohydrates like fruits and berries, absolutely. And if you're starting to get sick, only consume fresh fruit and raw vegetables. Maybe for the first few days, and especially at the onset of illness, just don't overeat. Try to eat very minimally, maybe even eat 2 meals a day. Yeah, and definitely avoid crowded places too, or restaurants, because you'll be tempted by food. Maybe turn off the TV because there's so much food commercial advertisement too. Another idea is to fast or eat lightly, like I mentioned, and that can help speed recovery because your digestive system and your body can start kind of eating, breaking down the dead cells and exporting that out of your body. And so it encourages new cell growth and new healthy cell growth, and can activate the immune system defense more rapidly to help eliminate the virus and the viral load. Okay, so I wanted to go into supplements and the fact that there's so much information out there on the internet and a lot of health-minded professionals talking about supplements. So I believe that we're all unique individuals, and there are people that are watching that may have chronic diseases or are taking a lot of prescription medications. So you always want to check with your healthcare provider. So other supplement reminders, you want to make sure you check in with your healthcare provider if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking other prescription medications, because those do interact with supplements. And if you're someone who is very sensitive to any type of medication, maybe even certain vitamins, really tune into that, because that doesn't necessarily mean that this supplement that myself or others are recommending is the right fit for you. You definitely need to just be very mindful and careful about any new pill or tablet or capsule or supplement regimen you start. Remember, supplement means that it enhances something when added to it. It doesn't necessarily mean you need to take it for the rest of your life or even take it every day. I know I love listening to Dr. Ben Lynch, and he recommends multivitamins and certainly proper forms of them, and he takes them personally. And he says sometimes he'll take it every other day, or if he's feeling like good energy, he may skip that multivitamin that day. I'm not saying that is certainly the choice that you need to make, but just keep those things in mind, that certain supplements, you don't have to be constantly taking them at high doses preventatively. And certainly I would only recommend taking that with under the guidance of a medical professional or a health professional. One of the supplements I want to mention, and actually is one of the superfoods too, but it's often found in supplemental form as an extract, is elderberries. So elderberries have been given a bad reputation recently because of this interpretation of a poor research study that was out there. So it's valid, but this study was done in test tubes, and there was people were fearful of elderberries, or have been fearful of taking elderberry extract or elderberry tea because of the supposed reaction of having a cytokine storm. So there's some good information that refutes that, and in fact, I would still recommend taking elderberries and elderberry extract or elderberry tea. It's a very helpful virus fighter. In fact, it's high in quercetin, which again helps zinc enter into your cells more efficiently. It's a good source of vitamin C, has plenty of phytochemical antioxidants. So what it does, the mechanism of action, it inhibits viral attachment by neutralizing the hemagglutinin spikes on the virus. So it prevents the virus from sticking to your host cell and injecting itself in and then replicating. And this has been shown to help, it's been shown to inhibit viral attachment of certain types of coronaviruses to these ACE protein receptors, which are full, your lung is full of these protein receptors. And it also encourages T helper cells to fight the virus. So it's a really beneficial supplement to take. And especially if you're not someone who's super sensitive, it's a good idea to, I think, to still consider it. Cistus tea is another super supplement that I came across, and it's from a herb flower that's grown in the Mediterranean. Cistus incanus is the proper name, but it's also known as rock rose, and it originates from Sardinia, Italy, and other Mediterranean regions, and it's very high in antioxidant polyphenols and flavonoids. It's very powerful and antiviral, and it's great for people who have mold toxins, and it's been shown to be effective to fight Lyme disease, especially combined with whole leaf stevia, not the stevia you find in stores in the grocery store, because often those little packets are bound to sugar alcohols or xylitol, so it's not as effective, those stevia packets. But pure whole leaf stevia has also been shown to be helpful in fighting Lyme disease. So Cistus tea I highly recommend that for anyone who has Lyme, to be drinking that, adding that to their regimen. In a randomized placebo-controlled trial, it significantly reduced respiratory viruses. A daily dose has shown to decrease oxidative stress and improve lipid profiles. So that means it can help with your cardiovascular health and in your cholesterol health. It actually can be helpful for people who have gum disease or reducing dental plaque, because rinsing the mouth with Cistus tea reduces bacterial adhesion. It's really been shown to be a significant remedy to use, and healthcare providers who have used this have seen dramatic improvements in their patients' health. The last few antiviral supplements I wanted to mention, vitamin C. So there's a lot of information out there on vitamin C, and liposomal vitamin C is definitely a more bioavailable form of vitamin C. It can get into your cells. That means it can get into your cells with greater ease. And there are definitely some risk factors for people who have kidney health or oxalate, because it could possibly cause more oxalates and production and kidney stones. And hemochromatosis, I believe there might be an issue or contraindication when taking high amounts of vitamin C. So high dose vitamin C, thousands and thousands of milligrams or many different types of grams, that is definitely been shown to be helpful in fighting viruses and other different kinds of infections and illnesses, but it may not be right for everyone. Just keep that in mind. Vitamin D3 is a powerful immune boosting vitamin. It's a fat soluble vitamin, more like a hormone though. Certainly we get it from the sun when the sun's hitting our skin without that sunscreen. It's great to have vitamin D bound with K2 or vitamin K2, and vitamin D, it boosts immune cell growth or proliferation, so it increases immune cells to help assist our body by binding to zinc in our cells. And so zinc is also another beneficial, powerful virus-fighting supplement. And Dr. Ben Lynch encourages taking vitamin Z lozenges or the tablet or capsule, I guess, or having that in the back of your, towards the back of your throat. And don't choke on that, of course. But if you're starting to feel a little tickle in your throat, then holding it there as it starts to dissolve, because zinc is really toxic to viruses. And I've mentioned a few times quercetin. Taking quercetin with zinc enhances zinc to go into your cells more efficiently. Methylated B12, methylcobalamin, methylated B12, that's also a really important vitamin to be aware of. A lot of people are deficient in B12 and they don't even know it, especially those who have neurological conditions. But B12 is important in enhancing immune cells and the immune system. NAC or N-acetylcysteine is also another supplement that I've found people taking just preventatively, and they may not need to just take it every day if they're not sick or they don't have any illness, because it is a mucolytic, so it can help. It's great at what it does to fight the virus and stuff, but just from what I've learned, and again, I could be wrong about this, so you can certainly cross-check me. You should do your own research too, but N-acetylcysteine can dry up mucous membranes, and that's why it's beneficial for a productive cough, to help with fighting that productive cough illness. Glutathione, a lot of glutathione produced these days, especially in the United States, that we have isn't the most effective. L-glutathione is certainly a better form, but a lot of glutathione is oxidized, so it's not very effective. But N-acetylcysteine can help boost the body's own glutathione, which is really a good thing and a beneficial thing. And certainly there's research that I've heard of that can really help with fighting the coronavirus too, certainly when you start getting it. But again, try not to just take supplements like high doses preventatively unless you've spoken with your provider about that and you have good reason to. So the next slide, I wanted to share with you, I've mentioned a few doctors throughout this presentation, but just some other resources that you can tap into. So Dr. Ben Lynch, Dr. Michael Greger, How Not to Die, Dr. Joel Fuhrman, he wrote the book Super Immunity and coined the term G-bombs. And then a book that we love here at Bella Vita that we share with the guests that come for a cleanse and detox protocol on the Ministry of Healing by Ellen White. And there's a quote I wanted to read to you from. Our Lord Jesus Christ came to this world as the unwearied servant of man's necessity. He took our infirmities and bore our sicknesses that he might minister to every need of humanity. Matthew 8:17. The burden of disease and wretchedness and sin he came to remove. It was his mission to bring to men complete restoration. He came to give them health and peace and perfection of character. Varied were the circumstances and needs of those who besought his aid, and none who came to him went away unhelped. From him flowed a stream of healing power, and in body and mind and soul men were made whole. So we can really grasp the compassion that Jesus had towards us human beings here on earth when he was here on earth. And we just want to look to him as our example. And we know we may not be made completely well here on earth. It might just not happen, but we certainly want to give you guys hope and encouragement that it can. And plant foods, especially whole foods, and some of these remedies that we feel that are a blessing from God could possibly help you with your health and restore you and make you whole. But if not, just have hope and encouragement that you will be made whole in heaven. And remember, time here on earth is just a blip in time compared to the eternity we'll have with Jesus in heaven and with our loved ones in Christ. So definitely want to leave on an encouraging and hopeful note with you guys, and encourage you to eat your superfoods, eat your superfoods daily, and stay tuned to the next series of presentations that will be happening. We're just so blessed to share with you this health and healing crusade and the presentations. And thank you so much for watching. We love you guys. Take care. Bye.
Jessica, thank you for that informative presentation on how easily we could take care of our bodies and boost our immune system with fresh, living foods. Friends, I hope you've been enjoying these presentations that we've been providing you. Continue to watch because we have more amazing presentations on their way.
I have fixed my mind on another time, on another time, and here I mean to stand until God gives me more light, and that is today until He comes. I have fixed my mind on another time, on another time. I have set my course on the narrow way, on the narrow way, for I know the day is close at hand, for which I watch and pray. Even so, Lord, come quickly. That is my fervent prayer, for I've caught a glimpse of glory, and I'm longing to be there. When shall the Son of Man appear? The trumpet sound its blast, and Christ descend with glorious fire, with all the saints amassed. We'll rise with those who sleep no more, to meet Him in the air. on another time, on another time.